5 tips to improve your set win rate. Because we didn't have enough Egyptian gods, so Hi-Res released 2 at the same time, that have unique passives against each other, because that always comes up. If you're just here for a build, then here, take it. You could have just used Smite Fire, so I appreciate the view. Now on to the good stuff. Again, I will be saving the best tip I've not found anywhere else till the very end, so stick around for that. With that being said, let's jump into tip number 1. We'll start with the one thing you always need to know for every god when picking them up, the bread and butter. The 1-2 punch, the go-to combo that you will need to claim the majority of your kills. You might think you know it for set. You drop down your 2, spawn of set, and then throw your 1, skewer, hitting the enemy with both the spawn and the skewer, dealing a chunky bit of damage. While this is your regular combo, most of the time it will just result in poke damage, keeping your enemy out of the fight. While this is incredible and one of the major reasons people pick up set, your full combo is much more deadly. To fully understand Set's burst potential, we need to look at his passive, Relentless. This ability grants Set a stack each time he damages an enemy, granting him 2.5 attack speed per stack. These stacks are additive, so you max out at 10 stacks, and giving yourself a 25% attack speed bonus. With your passive fully stacked, find an enemy that will struggle to get away from you, although you can follow their escape with your own teleport if they do try to run. When within melee range, trigger your ultimate, granting you extra movement speed to stick to your target, and on every 4th basic attack you hit, it will generate a charge of your spawn of set, as well as deal a chunk of damage. Importantly, if you already have full spawn charges, this 4th hit will instantly drop a spawn of set at your feet. This ultimate lasts 12 seconds, so as you reach the end of its duration, drop another of your spawns down, and prepare for the explosion. Make sure you hit this. It can be tricky at times, but the payout is worth it. Aim your skewer at the target enemy. By now your ult will probably have half health, even a guardian, depending on what time of the game it is. And this burst is the clincher. You'll see a million little lines light up as you activate skewer. All of those spawns of set that appeared during your ult will trigger, and as you fire that skewer, they all collide on that same target, melting your prey. And that is his bread and butter. If your bread and butter combo didn't kill the enemy, then it might be because you need to build it better, which takes us nicely into tip number 2. There are effectively 2 builds you can go with Set, and it largely depends on where you're playing him, or at least what role you need to fulfill for your composition. There is a bruiser build for diving the backline and surviving without a tank peeling for you. This is primarily used by solo laners, but I can see jungle Set making use of it if your solo laner is a little squishy. The other build is your typical DPS build. It relies on pen from maces and often transcendence if you're not in the jungle to try and get high ability damage out, and can even be found on sets in the jungle, mid lane, ADC role, or even solo lane if they don't need to tank up. Let's firstly take a look at the bruiser build. As with any builds in this section, they are very much subject to change, so we'll talk more generally with just a few items being name dropped if they're important to the functionality of the build. For the bruiser build, you are looking to augment your auto attacks, so that when you ult, you have the damage to kill a squishy backliner. But you want enough protections and health that you can be the primary engage target. As far as specific items go, the current Berserker's Shield is a must. It gives your auto attacks the boost they need while still keeping you tanky. If you're playing Set in the solo lane, pick yourself up some boots, usually warrior or you can do ninja, and then grab this Berserker's Shield. Once that is completed, you should be able to look for your first ult kill, and there is little your opponent can do. They either try to fight you and die, or run and hide under their tower, giving you full lane control. From there, you likely want something like a Frostbound Hammer, as it lets you stick to targets and make them less useful. You can also go into things like Sledge for extra tankiness, the usual good tanky items at the time. For instance, at the moment, are the shields and Gaia. I would avoid full tank items though. Stick to the bruiser items, which, if you aren't sure, are typically the items that have both some protections or health, as well as some power or sometimes pen. The second build is the DPS variant. This will look a lot like our Danzabura build in our previous tips video. For this build, the Mace Tree is your friend. Currently, Jotun's Wrath is a must build. The CDR, or cooldown reduction, just feels too good to pass up. I usually finish a Transcendence before Jotun's if I'm in a side lane, however, as you have the better opportunity than a jungler or mid to stack it up. If you feel like you need a bit of out of combat healing, then Soul Eater is your best friend currently, allowing you to heal up on waves with your abilities. But Set doesn't necessarily need this in fights thanks to his ultimate, so I tend to lean more towards aggressive items like Hydra's Lament, before potentially going back for the extra sustain, depending on the anti-heal the enemy has picked up. Before we hop into tip number 3, if you'd be so kind, you've gotten this far, you should like the video, maybe even subscribe. Not because I like to see the little numbers go up, but I'm afraid if you don't, Set might decide he should put me down.
I judge you guilty.
No, Mr. Set, please, look. The lovely people at home will like and subscribe, right? Right, guys? You can leave me be for now.
I'll cleanse this realm of its filth, starting with you.
Fine. We still have 3 more tips to go through though, Mr. Set. Maybe you'll let me get through those, and maybe at the end of the video, if the fine people at home leave a comment too, you'll let me live?
Okay. I may have underestimated these fools.
So I can live. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Set. So, on with the video. Tip number 3 is Relentless Passive, or rather his passive, Relentless. I feel like this is perhaps the most misunderstood part of Set's kit, yet it is one of the most simplest and most important. After having just gone through the builds, you might wonder why there is little to no attack speed in them. Sure, he builds like most magical ADCs who deal damage with their abilities like Ul, Neith and AMC, but Set needs to hit multiple basic attacks for his ult to drop a new spawn of Set, so why not just build full attack speed? Well, that is because of his passive, Relentless. Each time Set damages an enemy, he gains a stack of Relentless, and one of the little gems on his passive meter glows. As explained before, each stack gives him 2.5% attack speed, capping out at 10 stacks normally, although while his ultimate Kingslayer is active, there is no limit. So when Set isn't hitting his ultimate, he should have the equivalent of a free Atlanta's bow of attack speed, and when his ultimate is active, that can shoot through the roof, as the faster you attack, the more stacks of Relentless you get, meaning you're attacking faster, getting more stacks, etc, etc, you get the picture. So we know this passive is nutty, but that isn't really a tip, is it? How do we best use it? Well, there are a few little tips I can roll into one here. Firstly, you should aim to keep this up as often as possible in lane. For ADCs, that means between waves, going and tapping the Alpha Harpy or even the Gold Fury if there is nothing better to do, as it will keep your passive stacked, the same way you would go and stack your passive between waves on Cupid. For a solo laner, the totem actually counts as an enemy for Set's passive, so give it a few hits between waves, even if you can't commit to taking it. And if your team is aggressively pinging the totem because they need mana, then maybe they should have thought about that before dumping their kit on thin air, trying to hit the other mid laner, instead of clearing their wave. The second Relentless passive tip might be a bit of an obvious one, but try to have this stacked to the maximum before your ultimate. It's just a small bit of min-maxing, but it means you don't waste any of that beautiful ultimate charging up your regular 10 stacks. Moving on to tip number 4, we have Skewers for all. This is another tip based around your bread and butter, the ultimate and skewer combination, but it pushes it even further into the lands of obscenely broken, so it deserves its own tip. Typically, Sets will generate their Relentless passive as per tip 3, ready to ult someone. They will hit their Kingslayer ultimate, then start auto-attacking at insane speeds. When the ultimate ends, they will line up all their spawns and throw them with a skewer at the enemy for potentially a killing blow. Now this will allow you to tear through a backline. A mage or hunter will explode when you pull this off. But what if there was a way to eke out a little more damage, so you could potentially tear frontliners to shreds too? Or perhaps use that ultimate to kill both of the enemy backliners? Well, that is where Skewers for all comes in. The premise is in the numbers. Your ultimate Kingslayer lasts for 12 seconds. There is a base cooldown of Skewer of 9 seconds. That means without cooldown reduction, of which most of these builds have some, roughly 3 seconds into your ultimate, you can cast Skewer, perhaps throwing a spawn down with your 2, punching for some extra damage, and you'll still be able to Skewer at the end of your ultimate too. With this, you should be able to burn down your initial backline target, then swap to either their peel tank or the other backliner. Or perhaps you're in the solo lane and your target is a tanky warrior or guardian anyway. This double Skewer combo should help you reach lethal damage against them. There is also an added benefit of this, however. Have you ever chased someone with Set ultimate, only to realise at the end, your spawns are halfway down the lane? Well, if 3 seconds in you throw a Skewer at your enemy, all of your spawns will dash forward towards the fight, and will more likely be in range and available for that final explosive attack. We've made it to the super secret tip number 5, and unlike my usual tip number 5s, this one may well be known by higher end players, but it is just such an important piece of Set's kit and can offer such great flexibility, especially from sets in the mid jungle and ADC roles, that I absolutely had to bring it in at number 5. The PvE Tank Master set can and should tank objectives from time to time. Let's use a scenario here. Let's say you just want a big fight around the Gold Fury. You are the jungle set and have the typical high damage set build, and your ADC and you are the only two that survived, but your ADC has virtually no HP left. Well, thanks to your ult, you still have quite a bit of health after that fight, and rather than backing to heal, coming back in, and then fighting a contested Gold Fury with the enemy respawning from the start again, you can 100% tank that objective for your ADC while you take it now. The new Furies can hurt, and soloing them is difficult until the later stages of the game, and this is largely down to their channeled abilities, which absolutely shred at the target. Set, however, is a great tank for these Furies, as he has an on-demand physical damage reduction. As you tank the Gold Fury, your ADC tearing it up, as soon as a Fury starts its channeled ability, you activate Sandstorm, Set's third ability. For the next 6 seconds, you take 15% less damage from the Fury, and any other physical damage source, as well as being able to use a spawn of Set to teleport across the Gold Fury pit as an effective leash of the Gold Fury, giving you even more survivability. This also doesn't just stand for the Gold Fury though. All objectives on the Smite Conquest map currently deal physical damage. Fire Giant, his baby brother the Pyromancer, also deal physical damage, but so do towers, phoenixes, and the big bad Titan at the end of the game. If your tanks are dead, or just straight up don't look like they have the initiative to start an objective, you as Set can do it, regardless of build, thanks to Sandstorm. So there you have it, our 5 tips to improve your win rate with Set. If this video helps, drop a like and maybe even subscribe. It really helps us out and tells me that you want to see more of these videos. When you're done with that, YouTube thinks you might like the video on the left here, and I've put one on the right which you might like. And I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!